welcome back. So we are now going to continue with the module. This time we're going to discuss the mechanics for creating the research cover page. So basically, most research papers are based on this fundamental setup, layout, and format. So this would also be applicable if you are creating a research in the undergrad, the graduate school, whether you're in your master's or taking up your master's, or if you're taking your dissertation. Okay, so let's continue. The parts of the research cover page is divided into three. So we are going to call them the research title, which is this part. The left side is the sample cover page output, and on your right side would be the parts or names of each part of the cover page. So I am going to be explaining to you the mechanics in layouting the different parts of these cover page. Just a short reminder, the blue border that you see on your left side for the output of the cover page is not included in the layout, so please do not include that. Okay, so first part is the research title. So if you're going to observe the left part of the output, number one, the title should be written in all caps or in all capitalized letters. That's the first one. The second is that the title should be typed or encoded in bold form. And then the third is that the title should be arranged in a way that they form an inverted pyramid. Okay, so I hope you remember that. Okay, for the second part of the research, we have the presentation and intent. So this part of the research is composed or divided into two further parts. So the first part on top reads, I'm going to read it to you, a research presented to the School of Advanced Studies, the National Teachers College. So this part contains the department wherein you're presenting your research. So in this case, it is the School of Advanced Studies in the graduate level. And then the fourth line would be the name of the school where you are presenting your research. So the next part, still under number 2, the second part, presentation and intent, reads in partial fulfillment of the requirements for the course, educational research, and ethical standards. So this part contains reads that it is a requirement for the course. So what are you going to change? You have to change this if you are submitting this for a particular subject, a particular program, or in this case, particular course. So if you are using this in the undergraduate level, so the term that you're using is course, program, or subject, you have to change this particular part or wording of this cover page. And then the last line under the second part of presentation and intent is the title, the name, not the code of the subject. So in this case, the title of the subject is Educational Research and Ethical Standards. Okay, so the last part of the cover page is the author. So the author is composed of 3 lines, starting with a prefix, by, and then after that, the full name of the writer in normal capitalization rule. First letter is always capitalized, and then the name of the author is always written or typed in bold. And then the last line will be the month and the year wherein the research or the paper would be presented. So if the research is going to be presented at the end of the semester, you just indicate the month and the year. It's as simple as that. Another reminder, going back to this part 2, presentation and intent. If you observe, the title and the name are the only two parts that are presented in bold, but this one, the title, is presented in bold and all capitalized letter, while in this one, the name of the author, this is presented in bold but it is not in all caps, so please observe those rules. While these two parts under the presentation and intent are presented in the normal rule of capitalization. Okay, so let's continue. And then another part of the mechanics would be the font size, line spacing, and margins that you will be using for the cover page. So in this case, we are using the standard short bond paper, which is 8.5 by 11 inches. The font that we are using is Verdana. The font size is 12. The line spacing is double. Margins, top, left, right, and bottom are as follows. So you can just implement those specifications and apply this for your cover page. Okay, so to recap what we have already discussed, we are going to go through the following. Number 1, the research title should have the following characteristics. Letter A, it should follow the inverted pyramid form, utilizing not more than 3 lines. Letter B, the research title should be in all capital letters and in bold form, as you can see in our sample on the left side. Letter C, the research title should be aligned at the center of the page. So all of these parts are aligned at the center of the page. Letter D, spaces in between all parts of the research cover page should be equal, for minimum at least approximately 4 to 5 spaces. So these are the spaces that are being indicated in letter D. So it's up to you to make sure that all of these spaces are equal, including the top and the bottom, which is supposed to be 1 inch. Okay, and then the next is the presentation and intent, which is the second part of the research cover page. So the characteristics of this part is that it should be aligned at the center of the page, the same with the other parts. It should follow the normal rules on capitalization. So only the first letters are supposed to be capitalized. In this case, even the article of is supposed to be capitalized because it is in the first part of the second line. So next, letter D, it should follow the university form in word and in content, meaning you have to change the following information in order to be able to adapt with the requirements of your respective schools, level, department, or college. So that was discussed earlier. Okay, and then last in our recap is the author. And the characteristic of this part, which is located at the bottom of your cover page, are the following. It should be aligned at the center of the page, uses the preposition by, and it should be in all small letters. Letter C, full name of the author, meaning the first name should come in first, the middle initial, not the middle name, and the surname. in bold form but not in all caps. Letter D, indicate the month and the year when the paper will be presented for critiquing or for defense schedule. So that is the last part, which is the author. And last but not the least, I also reminded you earlier that these spaces located in between the parts are supposed to be equally distributed. So it's up to you if you're going to use 3 to 4 or 5 spaces. Just make sure that all of them are equal. So that's how you lay out your research cover page. Hello, so I hope you were able to learn something from the short discussion that we had about the research cover page on how you should lay out this according to the requirement and need of your university, your program, or your subject. So see you on the next module, and don't forget, please click subscribe and click the bell button so that you would be notified if there is a new video that has been uploaded. Thank you.